In Benin, vote tallying is underway after voters cast their ballots on Sunday to elect members of parliament for a 3-year term ahead of general elections in 2026. The preliminary results are expected on Wednesday. CGTN's Wanja Mungai has more.
Even though the opposition parties have been yearning for representation in parliament, the turnout in Sunday's poll has been considerably low. The polls will determine who among the 763 candidates will make it for the available 109 seats in the National Assembly.
May the best man win for the peace of our country, Benin.
May the best man win, and may the members who are elected defend the people.
This year's election is different from the previous one in 2019, as opposition parties were involved in the process. A crackdown on opposition parties by President Patrice Talon in 2019 hindered them from participating in the elections on claims that they were not eligible. The crackdown led to deadly protests by former President Boni Yaji's supporters.
This is the first time I have voted since 2016. Naturally, for me and for all Democrats, it is a moment of joy. We want to make a massive entry into the next National Assembly, but we hope that the opposition can make a remarkable entry into Parliament. As you know, democracy in our country is under attack. It is urgent to work in order to become again this model that we were in terms of democracy.
The absence of the opposition in the previous elections is one of the reasons why some of our activists and fellow citizens are in exile or in prison. They just wanted to vote.
The opposition party members are hoping to secure a significant number of seats in the National Assembly ahead of the 2026 presidential elections. For now, voters and candidates are eagerly waiting for the preliminary results expected on Wednesday the 11th. Wanja Mungai, CGTN.
For more on this, we are joined by Jonathan Ofei-Ansah, an African affairs analyst. He is also the founder and publisher of Africa Briefing magazine. Jonathan, welcome to the program. Jonathan, this time around, 7 political parties, including 3 in opposition, participated in Sunday's election. How significant is this?
Well, it is very significant because the current president, President Talon, did his best to stifle, opposition in the country. I recall that when he ran for elections in 2016, he pledged not to just to run to rule for just one term, but he went back on that pledge in 2021, to run again, and that caused a lot of violent protests and riots in the country. And in fact, until his term, democracy was beginning to be well entrenched in Benin, but he tried to usurp, to adopt some tyrannical, dictatorial tendencies in the country. He tried to ban some political parties, opposition parties, and even now, as your reporter said, most of the prominent opposition leaders are either in jail or in exile. So these elections are rather significant, and hopefully, but even then, let me also reiterate that some of the political parties, especially the Democratic Party that is also contesting this election, had to go to court, right, to be allowed to participate in this legislative election. So we hope that with what is happening now, we will see a return to normal democratic practices in the country.
Jonathan, a significant election it is, but we can't overlook the fact that there was a low turnout in the polls. Why do you think this is the case?
Well, I think it's considering what's happening since 2016 and 2021. I think there's some sort of voter apathy that has set in. It shows a lack of confidence in the political system in the country.
All right, Jonathan, regional security remains a concern in this very election. Is the outcome likely to have an impact on security?
Well, we hope the outcome should have an impact. At least we'll have some opposition members within the parliament and maybe they will call for more action, stronger action to be taken against the Al-Qaeda and ISIS-linked militants who are making incursions in the north of the country.
All right, Jonathan Ofei Ansah, let's leave it there for now. Good to get your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us here on Africa Live.